What's up? So, showed you guys the outside of the Bronco. Personally, my first assessment is that it was in fact worth the 2-year wait. If you watch the first part of this video, it was Mike and I at his HQ building, and he was describing to me the loadout that he very graciously gave me. So here I am in the actual vehicle itself. I've already done the passenger seat side, and what I'll do is show the final setup on that one. And this one I'm going to show how to actually attach the mobility bag. The other bag I have, I actually left it in the exact configuration that Mike had it for me, so it's rolled up at the bottom with the back panel exposed. This one I'm going to leave closed like Mike recommended. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this thing, show you how simple it is, and then show you what it is I'm going to put inside of it. So let's go. This should be super fast. It looks like a traditional bag. You know, on up top, what we have here is this strap that is going to go around the headrest and going to come back in and snap in to the female portion here. So on the first side, one of the things that I utilized that made it a little bit easier is I gave it some extra slack, but it's simply a male to female connection right there, and you can make it as tight as you want to, and then we'll deal with the excess a little bit later. I'll just stuff it back here for a little bit of trimmings. If you put this thing in the backpack configuration mode, you're going to have your normal over-the-shoulder strap, but what you're going to do is you're going to detach each of the Fastex connectors at the bottom of the strap, and what you're going to find is that you have a female and a male. And how simple is this? You're going to wrap it around the seat and connect them at the low back portion of the driver and, in this case, passenger seat as well. My initial thought on doing this was like, man, that's going to be uncomfortable because you're going to feel it. You don't feel it at all. It just connects up front and you don't even know it's there, and it really holds that tension or the bottom of the bag here up against the seat, taking up less space. So I'm going to wrap around to the front, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like in the back. One thing I should have done here to prep that might have made it faster for the video is the same thing, actually providing that excess slack before I start to wrap it around. So waste a little bit more of my time and probably not yours because I know how to edit. All right, you come around to the front, you get it to the portion of the back, the low back, you tighten it on each side. I don't think you need to get crazy with it. Let's say tighten it, follow your heart when it comes to tightening it. You'll know it's too tight when you can't tighten it anymore, or it's really indenting on the seat material. But that's both sides, and look how snug of a fit this is. This is really conforming to the back of the seat. We have two zippers that are up here, so we'll open this thing up. And again, I'll show you the other side here in a minute. Passenger side is readily available, things that I can grab from the driver's seat, and I don't have to unzip anything. Mike's recommendation was maybe have potentially a redundant loadout in here, but perhaps some more life-sustaining equipment. The ability to start fire, the ability to warm somebody, water filtering, sheltering of some type, maybe navigation. I don't know, whatever you feel the most comfortable with. And then you can leave it zipped. So as the driver, my primary would be strong hand, right hand to the back seat. And then Leah, my wife, or anybody else who might be with me, if they needed to, could access the same things on this side. But we have detachable medical pouch labeled for that. I would call this an accessory pouch. And then down here as well as another accessory pouch with which you can load up some medical equipment. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So stand by for a second. I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do this. All right, the big things that I'm going to put here in the bottom, and I have 2 of these in the vehicle. This is the mobility trauma kit. I'm not going to get into everything that's on here. You can go right onto Fieldcraft Survival and actually find that. This pouch right down here, though, is perfect for it. It's a pretty robust medical kit. Tourniquet, gauze, gloves, emergency blanket, Sharpie, shears, patch for an eye, chest seal, burn dressing, lots of things. And boom, look at that. So right into the pouch. Zip it up. Cool thing about these pouches too is they're attached with hook pile tape, or in the regular world we call it Velcro, but you can rip these things off, so you don't have to worry about taking the entire bag, even though you could if you wanted to. You can just rip that sucker off and go. I have another medical kit that I'm actually going to put up in this visor, and this one I'll probably use for like a little bit more of an accessory pouch or maybe life-sustaining. We were just down at Fieldcraft HQ and Mike threw in like a survival wrap designed to reflect heat back. People don't think about heat or the ability to retain heat, and you have to consider it if somebody is losing a lot of blood. So I'm going to stuff that right in there. Probably not going to pair these two together, but this is a ferro rod that they were practicing lighting fires with at the resilience course that we just went through, and because I have an awesome pouch to put it in, I'm just going to stuff it in there as well. This is by no means a complete setup or exactly the way that I would have this, but for right now, it's a really good start. And then, like I said, the cool thing is, because this isn't going to necessarily be my go-to, my initial access, I'm going to zip this thing back up. I'm going to have both zippers right at the top so I know where to reach if I do need to open it. And I've got a nice, compact, and not visually jumping out at somebody from an external perspective kit right here. It's one of the things that Mike mentioned, and I couldn't agree with it more. One of the first changes I made to the Bronco is I tinted the windows. And all I did was tint the front windows to match the rears. They came at a different tint. People look into your cars, and if they see something that they might want to take, they may take a go at it. So by tinting the windows and zipping this up, if you were to look through my windows, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell what's back here. And I got a great kit right behind my driver's seat, everything that I need, in addition to what I can already grab on the passenger side. So I will switch sides with the camera. Or maybe actually I'll drop down both seats and show you the configuration side by side. And then we can hop up front and I'll show you what I did with the visor. All right, I got both seats dropped down here, and I'm doing the best I can to give you a representation of what it looks like. The beauty is it's the same product on both sides. And you can see how one is a nice smooth setup, almost like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, to use a reference that Mike will understand. If you know, you know. And the other one is what it looks like when it is unzipped and ready to go. So I got a tourniquet, easy reach. I have a trauma kit, a stop the bleed kit right here, a mobility trauma kit down below, and an accessory pouch up and to the right. Probably add some things on the back, and I'm not even necessarily sure what those things would be at this point, but I love the fact that it has a MOLLE accessory back that's going to allow me to put anything on there that I want to. One thing to note if you're a Bronco owner, for me, this vehicle is going to probably be for either myself or my wife or one of my kids overlanding. I'm not going to have 4 people in this vehicle. These mobility bags, of course, take up some seat that would be used for legroom for your passengers. I actually never test drove a Bronco before I put my order in because there were no Broncos to test drive, and I didn't realize how small it is. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but the rear seats in the configuration that they're in right now, which is probably how I'm going to have them most often, which is laying down to provide more space to hold equipment, that's a better utilization, especially with these bags. If you put these bags on and don't move the front seats pretty far forward, what you're going to do is run out of space and really impede onto the space of the passengers in the back. It's not right or wrong, but don't think you're going to fit a family of 6 in one of these Broncos. But this is what it looks like. Contained kit, open kit, ready to rock. Let's hop up front and take a look at how I have the visor set up. All right, here we are in the front seat, and here is the visor configuration that I have it. Now, you obviously have a choice. You can go driver side or passenger side. And as you can tell, though, with anything that you put onto the visor, you're going to be eating into your visible space. So for me, personally, I'm going to put this on the passenger side so I can have more windshield to look through when I'm driving. I left one like this in a configuration where the pull tabs for the zippers are hanging down. And I put one like this, which is the configuration that I would actually drive with it in. Why? Because this, to me, gets irritating. So all I really do is I put the zipper in the middle so I know where to always reach for it. This is the handle, or not, it's not really a handle. Obviously, it's a piece of paracord that you could pull on, but it's in a loop. So this pouch will come with the loop, obviously, if I pull it. And all I do is I stuff the 2 pull tabs right up in top. So if I wanted to show you how to do that, you just stuff these bad boys right up in here. And again, I don't believe in right or wrong. I believe in better or worse. To me, this is cleaner. There's not something dangling, but right here, right on this visor, I have access to a stop the bleed kit. I'm going to probably put a tourniquet in between the 2 or in the dash box, glove box, or actually probably both in case I can access the glove box if I can't access the visor, and vice versa. For whatever reason, if I needed to do the visor as opposed to getting into the dash. But that's really it. It still allows for functionality of the panel itself and gives you ready access that you can just grab and go if you need to. You can actually grab the entire panel if you need it and take off. But that's the setup. You saw the unpacking with Mike when we were at HQ, and this is how I have the Bronco set and ready to go. So now this thing is, I'd say, the 80% solution for what I'm looking for when it comes to overlanding and having the tools necessary to respond to a medical emergency. So hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, hit me up in the comments if I'm missing anything. Or I should have something else. Because, I'll tell you what, I'm not an expert at any of this. And that's it.